You know I've traveled near and far, see the shining sea. I've seen a lot of places and people that were nice to me. One place that's in my heart, and this is how I feel. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. She's nestled in the sand hills on a river called Cakefield. Special to so many who proudly served our country here. She was named for Lafayette and known for cotton mills. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. My hometown, Fayetteville. I'm so proud to be from here. It don't take long when you're away from home to find out how you feel. It's always good to come home to Fayetteville. Babe Ruth hit his first one, heard around the world. Sherman marched with the Union and burned the arsenal. Old Market House still standing, but stands for freedom's will. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. My hometown, Fayetteville. I'm so proud to be from here. It don't take long when you're away from home to find out how you feel. It's always good to come home to Fayetteville. My all-American city, Fayetteville. Talking about my hometown, Fayetteville.
Well, good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Monday, September 9th, 2019 Fayetteville City Council meeting. At this time, we will ask Dr. Greg Perkins, Associate Pastor for Mount Pisgah Missionary Baptist Church, if he would come to the podium. We ask that all would rise for the invocation. Ask that you please remain standing and repeat in unison the Pledge of Allegiance immediately following.
Thank you, Mayor. Dear God, we pray for your grace over our city leaders. We recognize that your grace is sufficient to keep them. We ask, oh Father, that through your power that they will be made perfect in their weakness. So let your divine power rest on each of our city leaders in Jesus' name. Even, Lord, at times when they may feel that the challenge is too difficult, when they feel they have been insulted or criticized, even when they feel as though they have been persecuted. It is in their weakness, Lord, that we ask that you make them strong and that you make us all strong. Help us all to communicate positive talk as we work and live throughout this great city we call Fayetteville. In Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Perkins, I know you well. You've got a special young man there with you, but tell us a little bit about yourself and the church and the ministry you attend and a part of.
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, I've been an active part of Coffee with the Mayor for a number of years and other city activities. And so my colleague and I, Dr. Sherry Arnold Graham, we've invoked ourselves to every leader we meet across our city and our county and our state, we want to encourage them to use positive speech. You and I have talked about this on many occasions. We think there's a time in our country, and we've even talked about this on the radio a couple of weeks ago, that we need to be more respectful of each other, just like grandmother taught us to be. When we speak to each other, we want to speak like grandmother is speaking to us. Treat each person with respect, even though we may disagree. It's okay to disagree. In fact, it's downright hospitable to disagree. I'm from Texas, and we disagree all the time. But positive speech, that is the word I'd like to leave with city councilmen and the work that we're doing in the community today. Positive speech. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir, and thank you for joining us, and let's give him a round of applause. And who's the special young man you have with you?
This is my 10-year-old. Tell him your name.
My name's Aaron.
Well, nice to meet you too, sir. Thank you for what you're doing there,
Thank you.
Dr. Perkins. Right, at this time, council, I'll defer to Councilmember Jensen. I think we have a special guest on the dais with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, I would like to recognize Zachary Grierson. And I said that wrong, didn't I? Sorry about that. And he goes to Grays Creek. He is a senior, and he has been with the youth council quite a bit because he's very active, and I know his face and I know his name. So with all the children down there, I know that he's doing a great job. So I'm going to let him give you an update on the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zachary Grierson. I'm in 12th grade. I go to Grace Creek High School. I'm here to tell you about the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council has been doing these past few weeks. On Tuesday, September 3rd, the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council was on air with WIDU radio station. We are excited to say that we now have on-air time to discuss many different issues. For example, in October, we have decided to talk about mental health awareness for teenagers and promoting more awareness in schools. We are also very excited to be putting the finishing touches on the service learning project, which will take place in Wilson on Saturday, September 21st. We also have an executive board meeting on Monday, September 9th. Our second official FCYC meeting will be held on Monday, September 16th, and we are hoping to see more new and returning members. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. At this time, we also have a couple of special guests in our audience. We have Miss Fayetteville, Miss Abby Britt, as well as Miss Fayetteville's outstanding team, Miss Jayla Locklear. I'd like to give them a round of applause for joining us tonight. Miss Fayetteville, would you all like to have a few words?
They're probably going to platform this year.
No, yeah.
Hi, it's truly a pleasure to be here. I am Miss Fayetteville 2019, Abby Britt, and this is my outstanding teen who is truly outstanding, Jayla Locklear. We were crowned February 2nd at Fayetteville State Seabrook Auditorium, and we have had a truly incredible year. Jayla had the opportunity to represent Fayetteville at the Miss North Carolina's Outstanding Teen Competition, and this past June I had the opportunity to represent Fayetteville at the Miss North Carolina competition. We both had an incredible time representing Fayetteville, and we really hope that we made everyone proud. This year we've also been able to get in our communities and promote our social impact initiatives. Mine personally is called Give It a Shot, promoting science hands-on training. It's all about getting kids more excited about science at an earlier age through the use of hands-on activities. So I've been able to go to local elementary schools to do science experiments with kids. I've also been able to go to the Fayetteville Woodpeckers game, and how about them being able to compete for a championship right here in Fayetteville in their inaugural season. I've also been able to go to Fort Bragg and meet some of our soldiers, be able to thank them for all of their service that they've done for our country and for our community, and so many more things. Fayetteville has been a wonderful place to be. I'm not from Fayetteville. I actually grew up in Benson, North Carolina, but I knew whenever I was deciding where I wanted to compete that this was the place that I wanted to be this year. We'll be crowning our next Miss Fayetteville and Miss Fayetteville's Outstanding Teen on February 29th in 2020. So I know that you guys will have a wonderful representative, whoever it may be, and thank you guys for all your support of us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, did Miss Outstanding Teen, Miss Fayetteville, would you like to say something? Never miss a chance for a platform, right?
My name is Jayla McKenzie Locklear. I attend St. Paul's High School, where I am a senior. Whoop, whoop. And my platform is Speak Up, Speak Loud, Stand Up Against Bullying. I use my story of how I was bullied as an adolescent to teach others about the dangers of bullying. I use my motto, never be a bully, but always be a friend. And I go out to schools, and I tell them, the golden rule, always treat others the way you want to be treated. And I let that sit with them, and I hope that I make a positive impact in my community, and they'll take that through life. Thank you.
Thank you all for representing the city and on these various platforms, and thank you for the good work that you're doing in the community. At this time, I will, before we have a very special recognition, I'll defer to Councilmember Jim Arp, who has some exciting news for us.
Well, we got a little promo there about the Woodpeckers. Thank you for that. But we want to say congratulations to the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, who have advanced to the Carolina League Championship this past weekend. They're looking forward to defend their title. If you recall, they won the title last year as the Buies Creek Astros, and they'll be defending that title against the Wilmington Blue Rocks, and that's Wilmington, Delaware, an affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. So the series is a best-of-5 series, meaning the first team to win 3 games will win the championships. Game 1 and 2 will be played in Wilmington, Delaware. That's tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. And then games 3 and 4 and 5, if needed, will be played here in Fayetteville. Game 3 is scheduled for Thursday the 12th, 6 p.m. Gates will open at 5 p.m. And then game 4, if necessary, on Friday the 13th, and we're not scared of Friday the 13th. Gates will open at 5 p.m. And then game 5, if needed, on Saturday the 14th at 6 p.m. Again, gates open at 5 p.m. Tickets start at $11. That's a very reasonable price for a championship tournament, and they can be purchased at www.fayettevillewoodpeckers.com and at the BB&T box office at Segra Stadium. And the box office is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So let's help our Fayetteville Woodpeckers end an amazing inaugural season for Segra Stadium and the city of Fayetteville. We want to encourage you and all your friends to come out and support our hometown team. Thank you.
All right, congratulations to our Woodpeckers. And at this time, I will turn it over to Councilmember Waddell, and I'll ask that Chef Judy, if you would meet me at the podium, please.
And while she's coming, I'm just going to say a couple of things. I'm going to take a moment of personal privilege. I want to introduce Chef Judy to everyone. She is a woman veteran. She is a restaurateur. She is an excellent, phenomenal mentor and leader in our community. And she is a person who really represents this city well. And so thank you for that representation. So on behalf of the city of Fayetteville, we'd like to present you a certificate of excellence. This certificate is presented in recognition of your recent win on Fayetteville's Supermarket Stakeout. It's not Fayetteville Supermarket Stakeout. Supermarket Stakeout. It's a national TV show. And we are presenting this to Miss Judith Cage for her dedication and untiring commitment to serving our community and excellence in her field. Our best wishes for every success as an ambassador of our great city. Signed, Mayor Mitch Colvin. Judy, you can't sit down without saying something, ma'am.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but since I have a mic in front of me, thank you all so much. Thank you for what you do in the city of Fayetteville. It was such an honor and privilege to be able to go and represent, and not only to win that $10,000. It felt good. It really felt good. but to be able to have bragging rights and to be able to say, you know, I did it, and to show other folks that if I could do it, they could too. I'm from the inner city, and just to be able to show whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. So again, thank you all for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Chef Judy, next time you feed us a sweet potato pie, it'd be appreciated.
I got you, sir.
Yeah, the food was great. Sweet carrots or something you had on there, so it was good. All right, so thank you, Chef Judy. Thank you, Councilmember Waddell. And someone took my agenda. Oh, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'll borrow his. All right, Council, at this time, we will ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor, make a motion that the agenda be approved.
Okay, there's a motion by Councilmember Wright. There's a second by Lights for Councilmember Waddell. Any discussion on the motion? All right, Council, I'll look to you for your votes to approve the agenda. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Motion carries. Item 6.0, the consent agenda. Councilman Hare.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to pull item 6.05 for a separate up or down vote, please.
So is that a motion to approve with the exception of item 6?
Motion to approve, except for the item of 6.05.
All right. There's a motion by Councilmember Hare to approve with the exception as stated. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Art. Any discussion on the motion? All right, Council, I'll look to you for your votes. Councilman Dawkins? All right. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Motion carries. Item 6.05, Councilmember Hare.
Thank you, Mayor. As staff comes up, I see our director standing up, coming forward, Director Hume. I wanted to give an opportunity for him to expound on our two new fleet buses, as I call them, and then our 5 minibuses. We've had a few conversations over the last month or so about buses and replacements, and since this was on the consent, I thought this would be a great opportunity to share with the public what's on the way.
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Councilman. Yes, we have 2 items actually on the consent agenda. One of them does have 6 of our paratransit vehicles. That is a grant that we've received, and those vehicles have been ordered. And then there are 2 standard buses, which we are getting ready to order. We did not have a contract in place, but we have found one that we can work with, and that combined with, I think we have 2 other large buses that are also going to be ordered. Now, those take a longer time to get here, and so that is what the state match is to go along with those grant funds that we've already received. The other item on 605 about the VW money is an opportunity where there's VW settlement, Volkswagen settlement money that comes in the state. This has been something we've been following for about 3 years, but we are actually asking to apply for about $500,000 of that money, and we will use that to replace, the same money we would have used for diesel buses, we will use that same money to get battery electric buses. It will be our first battery electric buses in Fayetteville.
So new buses are on the way.
Yeah. And now, this is a competitive grant, so it's not
Yes, sir.
guaranteed. But yes, yes, sir, new buses are on the way.
We'll get it. Thank you, sir.
All right. Councilman Chris.
Hey, let me get this straight. I don't think you went into enough detail. Ordinarily, we would pay $147,200. However, the grant that you put in for, which is $511,000,
Yes, sir.
if we get the grant, then we don't have to pay the $147,200 out of our general fund or transportation fund.
Not exactly. I'm
Not quite?
actually, we have budgeted that $147,000, which we will
you
still
have to,
use. But then to add to that, we will add $500,000, and that allows us to pay the difference between the electric buses and diesel buses and the charging infrastructure that goes along with that.
Okay.
And so that's what the Volkswagen money allows us to do, and that can be used as
you're
match for
very-
grants.
You're confident we'll probably get to 511, right?
Well, we're
I am.
going to make our best pitch for it, and I feel pretty confident because the reduction of oxides from nitrogens is one of the biggest factors in the whole evaluation, and the way we're leveraging it, we should get good
Change
credit for that.
We'll get it, sir.
Got you, thank you.
Mr. Hume, I did have a question. Are there any other grants that we're eligible for because it's kind of a low emissions green initiative? Are there any other kind of energy efficient grants that?
We will, actually, those will come around next spring for the, what's called the NOLO program with FTA, and we will apply for those then. Now, in June, we applied for 4 other, a competitive grant with Federal Transit, and we should hear about those buses, whether or not we get that grant, sometime in mid-October, is what they've told us. So, again, if we don't get that competitive grant, then we will probably move and have to use some of our formula money. I always like to use that formula money for things that is, has more flexibility.
Gotcha. All right. Councilman Hare.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Motion to approve item 6.05.
So, got it by
Do
lights.
I need to read out?
There's a motion by Councilmember Hare. There's a second by Councilmember Wright to approve item 6.05. Any discussion on the motion? All right, council, I'll look to you for your votes.
Got you, Johnny.
All right, Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Motion carries. Item 7.0 is the public forum. This is a time that any Fayetteville resident may have input and a voice in what goes on in their city. Due to policy restrictions, the forum will not last any longer than 30 minutes, and each speaker will be limited to only 3 minutes to address the City Council on issues related to the City of Fayetteville. Individuals wishing to speak at tonight's public forum should have signed up with the City Clerk prior to the start of tonight's meeting. If you are here to speak on items that may be on tonight's agenda under public hearing, ask that you would please reserve your comments until the public hearing. So when your name is called by the City Clerk, we ask that you come to the podium. Please clearly state your name and home address for the record. Then when you see the light that is located on the podium change from green to yellow, you have 30 seconds left to speak. When you see the red light come on, that means your time has expired. Again, due to policy restrictions, we're unable to extend the given time. With that being said, Madam Clerk, ask that you call your first speaker.
Yes, Mayor. We have 11 speakers signed up this evening. Our first speaker is Mr. Sean McMillan.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, sir.
Good evening. Sean McMillan, 6024 Golden Range Drive. We're here to request the Fayetteville City Council move to implement a police civilian review board in accordance with Ordinance 2-43 of the Fayetteville Code of Ordinances. Fayetteville reacted in 2012 to statistical evidence of over-policing and excessive use of force, in part by inviting the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, NOBLE, to conduct a study here in our city. Based on recommendations of the 2012 study, the City Council backed plans to improve transparency and oversight by installing a citizen review board. The concept of a citizen review board, also known as a civilian review board, is not new to the U.S. There are more than 200 models of civilian oversight in the country. Actually, the concept now is not new to Fayetteville. It surprises many to know that the Ordinance 2-43 actually lays out standards, responsibilities, and composition of the CRB. The ordinance was signed by Mayor Schiavone in 2013 and is still listed along with every other active ordinance the city maintains. So our question is, why is it 6 years later there is no CRB? Why are we so heavily dependent on the Fayetteville Police Department Internal Affairs when a working group spent months designing a CRB that allowed for external oversight? What is stopping the current and sitting members of the board from implementing what was decided on 6 years ago? Clues from a 2014 Fayetteville Observer article seem to indicate that the Police Benevolent Association was behind pressure to abandon the CRB. The article suggests that uniformed officers lined the City Hall as a measure to postpone went up for council vote. So think about this. The police interfered and insisted that the police police the police. To be clear, we absolutely respect and honor the women and men of the FPD and appreciate the work that Chief Hawkins puts in every day. However, we know that without a doubt that it is possible to respect their work while also respecting a process that gives citizens oversight and involvement. We had a chance this weekend to speak with the majority of candidates in the municipal elections and deeply appreciate what we saw as a sincere commitment to enacting policy that increases accountability while bolstering confidence in our city's law enforcement. We were encouraged to see that the majority of you voiced support for CRB in a recently released Democracy NC Voters Guide. We look forward to seeing your action on this matter and I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Richard Klein.
Good evening, Mayor Colvin and City Council members. I want to take this time and I want to thank you all for allowing me to come and have this time. I want to speak about something that is very dear to my heart. Was nutrition. When I was growing up as a child, I didn't eat a lot of vegetables. And I know for a fact that here in America, I'm from the island, that the same problems that we face home, we all face here in America about eating vegetables, eating fruits. So it's recommended that we're supposed to eat at least 6 to 12 different fruits within a day. And when you look at that, if you hold your hand, this is the portion, and you figure 12 of these you got to eat. So the company that I'm going to represent right now is Juice Plus. And what the company done, they took the fruits and the vegetables, and they condense it into a powder, and they put it in a taffy capsule, which means vegans and vegetarians can eat this product. What I say eat because it's nutrition. It's nothing synthetic in it. It's just the actual food, nutrition from the vegetables and the fruit. And y'all, each of y'all have one of these, and one of these at your side. So there's the berry, there's the fruit, there's the omega, and there's the vegetables. And within one capsule, you get 30 vegetables in that one capsule. In that other capsule for the fruits and the berry, you get 30 different berries and fruits in that capsule. I'm not saying that this is going to replace the actual vegetables and fruits you eat. It's bridging the gap for the fruits that we're not getting into our body system. Now, since I've been taking this product, I work out every morning, and Mayor Coven could vouch for me because we were in the same gym. Every morning, I used to drink a lot of energy drink because of what I'm doing. Now, because I've taken this product, I don't even need energy drink. And this is all natural food from these vegetables and the berries. So what I'm saying, when we look at the grocery, the stuff that comes in our grocery, like, good example, bananas. When you go in a grocery store and you see a banana half ripe or green, what they did, they picked that banana before it was mature from the actual vine that they came off of. So you're not getting the full 100% nutrients of that banana because it's not fully mature. So with Juice Plus, everything that they've done is fully mature before they even pick it. Okay. So I just want to say, if you got any more questions, y'all got my business card, just give me a call, and we have people waiting to talk to you about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, our next speaker is Miss Rosemary Berger.
Good evening. My name is Rosemary Berger. I live at 76 Anson Lane, and I am here. I represent over 5,000 members of the Longleaf Pine Realtors, the Mortgage Bankers Association of Fayetteville, the Home Builders Association of Fayetteville, and the Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce. The City of Fayetteville created a stormwater utility on May 26, 2009, as found in Chapter 23 of the City Code of Ordinances. Tonight, I would like to thank the City Council for considering to continue to maintain the City of Fayetteville stormwater utility instead of asking the citizens of Fayetteville to pay for needed repairs that occur on their property. We know that there are numerous stormwater utility repairs that have not been completed. Those repairs have a deep impact on our city infrastructure, housing values, and the quality of life. Stormwater utility repairs that are not completed can prevent a homeowner from selling their property, create abandoned and foreclosures properties, and erode the City of Fayetteville's tax base. Our organizations collectively will support the City of Fayetteville, the City Council, as you move to create a solution for current and future stormwater issues by helping achieve a better management of the current stormwater utility budget and focusing on paying for the immediate repairs that are necessary. We would also support an increase in stormwater fees or a bond to help make those repairs and maintain the City of Fayetteville's stormwater utility for generations to come. We are here tonight to be a part of the conversation and help achieve a resolution. We all have a vested interest in this issue, and we thank you for the honor of addressing the City Council of Fayetteville tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a lot of time left.
Mayor, our next speaker is Miss Megan Gerber.
Hello.
Good evening. My name is Megan Gerber. I represent the homeowners. My address is 502 Argyle Road. I have a similar statement to Rosemary as we work in the same field, and y'all kind of already know me. The City of Fayetteville did create that stormwater utility on May 26, 2009, as found in Chapter 23 of the City Code of Ordinances. I, like Rosemary and the other organizations, would like to thank you for taking in consideration after the last vote that the expenses would not be put on the homeowners. Very much appreciate that. What she did address too, those repairs do have an impact on our infrastructure housing values, and we do know there's a lot of those issues that have not been addressed, either by priority or just the budget that is allotted. We do work together in wanting to achieve a better management of that current stormwater utility budget and focusing on paying for the immediate repairs that are necessary. We would also support the increase in stormwater fees or a bond to help make those repairs. The concern for most of the homeowners that are affected is the timeline. Though we really appreciate you considering taking the cost of the homeowner and the city and maintaining it, it does feel a little open-ended. There is not a set solution in place. Every day it goes on, the problem continues to grow. What once was a small problem has become a larger problem, as those problems now that didn't exist now exist. I do feel that the stormwater infrastructure needs a plan for regular maintenance and evaluation. The city spends an extensive amount of money doing stormwater shed studies and other large cost studies. I feel that the infrastructure should have the same money invested in studies and maintenance and to prevent future damages. Our area is greatly affected by storms that other areas that we've modeled do not have that same impact. I feel that if we have preventative maintenance in place, we can reduce these costs moving down the road. Our safety and quality of life is also affected. I have 3 children in my household that play soccer and 1 that plays softball. My 3 kids who play in the backyard can no longer play in the area designated for their soccer field because every time it storms, more of that land erodes. And I understand there's right-of-way projects that are important, but the off right-of-way are just as important. There are people who live in those homes, who have children, neighbors, and they're greatly affected. I have drone photos, aerial photos, and you can see the erosion that's taken place since the first time the city's put the fence up. We've lost probably another 3 feet. So I greatly appreciate the conversation and that we're moving forward together collectively. I would just like to see an improvement of preventative maintenance moving forward. Thank you. Can I give her the photos?
Thank you. Mayor, our next speaker is Mr. Nero Coleman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
How are you, sir?
I'm here to humbly apologize to you guys for my appearance last Monday when I came and I had a rant about a Civil War museum because I was ill-informed about all of the information that I needed. So I'm here, first of all, to apologize to you for that. And basically that's it, because now that I found out my information that there was just a proposal of the $7 million that was supposed to be set aside for the museum, and that it was just a proposal and an idea, then I feel that I don't have anything else to speak about other than I look forward to helping you guys get reelected.
Our next speaker is Miss Kathy Greggs.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Everyone here knows me, but my name is Kathy Greggs. I'm at 4607 Woodline Drive, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28314. Tonight, I would like to talk about what is police corruption. The question holds a different meaning for every citizen. Corruption in the police force results in destruction of communities' trust. All past laws enforcement cases are open, questioning the community itself and a disorder of breach of trust. Therefore, it needs to be dealt with, and people need to deserve the affecting rights of all people for the police force. The case that is in question in the trust is Rashad Edwards' case that was filmed immediately on YouTube as well as in the media. Fayetteville in July 16, 2018. Since then, there has been little but no transparency within the organization bodies that serve the people inside the city, city council, and county commissioners. This case is currently pending, and a video details showing that at the time there was planted drugs inside the home of Mr. Rashad. Mr. Rashad residence and drugs were recovered at his daycare center. Corruption of the police officer erodes the trust of citizens. Police officers are the portrait of protectors, and if it turned out that they're the bad guys, then who can we trust? Considering that most of the officers have recently resigned or have left the police force due to this corruption, Mr. Everett and the citizens really deserve the right to know why we have not gave an answer to him. I represent Fayetteville Police Accountability Community Task Force as the vice president. Because I represent that, I feel that we should have a citizen review board which will assist the questions that are unanswered, foreseen unaccountability for police. The community deserves a strength which serve to protect and serve those, and we deserve accountability from any officer here in the city of Fayetteville. We must start now. We must allow Mr. Edwards and any other citizen in Fayetteville to understand that accountability upholds. The people should not rest until the demands are heard from their elected officials, which voted decisions upon having a citizen review board. The people are the ones who are able to vote for transparency in the police department. We have already discussed earlier about having a citizen review board. We must hold everyone accountable for their actions in the city of Fayetteville, and we ask you to uphold them as well. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ms. Barbara Sledge Yancey.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm here to discuss the shopping carts that are all over my neighborhood.
Ma'am, can you pull the mic down?
Okay, sorry. Short. Okay, I'm here to discuss the shopping carts that are all over my neighborhood. I have lived in the same house over 30 years, and now we have people who are living in the neighborhood and they don't have cars, so they are going to the grocery store and other places and getting what they need and bringing the cart back. And they don't take the cart back to the store. They bring it, because I'm in a corner lot, they bring it, leave their house and bring it to my house. And during the storm, I had 2 carts that were outside, which worried me because I was thinking that maybe the wind would get in it and blow it or do something. So I went outside in the rain and turned them over. Today, a neighbor called me and she said, "You're doing a lot of shopping at Food Line." And I looked and I had 4 carts. Then down the street, a lady had 1. And I think something should be done about it. I feel like the person who goes to the store to get whatever food they need or whatever they need, if they bring that cart back into the neighborhood, I think they are stealing, because it doesn't belong at their house, and it certainly doesn't belong at my house. And I would like for some type of something to be done. I won't say what, but I will say that they're stealing, and we already have a law about littering. So when they drop it at my house, they're littering. And I want you to charge them for littering. And I know for a fact that they could not bring all these carts into the neighborhood without police or someone feeling, ooh,
You still got 30 seconds.
I'm sorry. But I don't think they could bring the carts back into the neighborhood without someone seeing them, because I have seen them myself. Now, I went to a Family Dollar. They had no carts. And that particular day, I needed a cart. And she said their people have put them back someplace in the woods or whatever. And so that's a problem. And it looks bad. It doesn't help our neighborhood to look any better. And it wouldn't, and I know you probably don't have this problem, but I do. And I think it's important. I think we need to charge them with littering and also with stealing, and that will stop them from doing it. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liz.
Our next speaker is Gay Lamar.
Hello, my name is Gay Lamar. I live at 610 School Street, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28301. I came today to speak to you about the proposal for the museum. There are so many things that we could be spending $72 million on. I live on a street where there's poverty, drugs, prostitution right in front of my kids. I have 4 small kids. We need to, as a community, come together and take that money and try to fix our neighborhoods. I have an idea that if we get together and help our ex-offenders become entrepreneurs, a lot of things that are happening in this community will stop. I have kids that refuse to even come outside to play. I met a 21-year-old girl that walks up and down the streets on drugs. She lost both of her parents in the same year. We need to come together to put an end to this. We need to come together so that we can build each other, not just one race or the other race, but each other as a whole collectively. We need to come against the things that are keeping our younger kids from growing and becoming who they should be in the world. We should stick together and not build this, but build mental health centers and places for people to get education, places so that people can know how to become job ready. I deal with a society of people where they have no voice. I deal with young ladies and young men that don't even know how to be young women and young men. So today, we ask that instead of building a museum, we have a place, we build places and things and entities that would create us to bring our economy up, not down. If we have an entity where we have education on history and the power of black economics, we'll come out of economic depression because we will have our ex-offenders buying houses, cars. We won't see the young ladies walking up and down the street. A lot of them are just broken. They come from broken homes, no parents, no leadership, no strong structure. So we ask you today to reconsider about the proposal for the museum. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Iman Iranime Mohammed Smith.
With the name of God, the beneficent and the merciful, I greet you all in peace from God. Assalamu alaikum. And to my humble mayor, he forgot to say the honorable.
Pardon me.
You can reach me on Mayor Iran Mohammed, Vietnam vet, and my masjid, Omar bin Saeed, and the Friday prayers, 1 o'clock, and Sunday prayers, 1 o'clock. We are very, very pleased to announce that we have the baseball stadium is going great, fantastic. People around the country are coming here celebrating our great work. So don't look at me strange. President Barack Obama showed you what we can really do. So what you hear me talk about is just a drop in the bucket. The baseball stadium, the transportation hub, built like Durham. But there's a playoff this weekend, and some of y'all thought we couldn't build the stadium. We build it anyway. The last thing you want to say to Iran is what you cannot do. We will really take off. Chancellor Willis McLeod will tell you that. But we also want to announce that we're in the process of building on Murchison Road 3 black museums to honor the founders of Fayetteville State University, my school. 5 founders, black men who actually came up with the money to build Fayetteville State University in 1867. And the history of all of that is in the Fayetteville State University archives on the 4th floor, and a museum put together by Chancellor Willis McLeod and me, the entire history of Fayetteville State University from then until now. Also, it's very important to pick up the debris particularly on Hood Street, to our mayor, and also Hood Street and Murchison Road. A friend of mine who's elderly, one of our pioneers, Muslims, on the curb, she put clothes and a mattress out there a week ago, and it's still there. It needs to be picked up. And throughout Broadell, it needs to be picked up better. Our mayor's doing a great, fantastic job. Bob Gibbs, his name or whatever, he's doing great. But we've got to do better to make the whole city look better. We got people come from all over the country. E. Smith High School, we are in the process of getting the Legislative Black Caucus to build a new E. Smith High School at E. Smith High School football field, just like Durham again, 3 stories tall. Everything that you see me talking about trying to build, most of it is coming out of Durham. And Durham is the political team that recently came together and got the state of North Carolina Supreme Court to stop the U.S. Supreme Court from trying to redraw the lines that would exclude black Americans and Native Americans and Muslims and Christians. So Durham is extremely powerful. Don't forget that. And that's in North Carolina Legislative Black Caucus, pretty much led by Durham. God bless you. I'm on the way to the football game to make sure E. Smith win this daggone game. They didn't win one game last year. I can't stand it.
Our next speaker is Miss Veronica Jones.
Hello, madam.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Jones. I live at 1517 Grandview Drive. I am the CEO and the president of Jones Global Foundation. Our foundation provides education and awareness in 4 areas: health and wellness, with a component that provides information on mental health, social justice, youth enhancement, and faith enhancement. Today, I thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you about a very important subject matter. This month is Suicide Awareness Month. As the gentleman was saying earlier from the Fayetteville Youth Council, we believe it's important to understand and know that our community needs to band together for collaboration for individuals who are coping with mental illness. My foundation is very pleased to announce we are in partnership with NAMI, that stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness. We've also just secured a partnership with the American Foundation for Suicide. I'm here today to talk to you all about, hopefully in the future, we would like to build a collaboration and partnership to see about providing education more so for individuals that have disabilities, that also have mental illness. I also would like to add, there are several positive things going on in Fayetteville. I'm very pleased to see that we have the skate park. We have several of the different type of events, such as the Mayor's Labor Day celebration. The Chamber of Commerce is celebrating African Americans. And with that being said, when we talk about suicide, a recent report has been established that North Carolina suicide for individuals for the age of 10 through 17, unfortunately, has doubled. This report came out September 4th, 2019, from the Child Health Report. So with that being said, I'm pleased to announce that I have been working somewhat with Councilman Larry Wright. There will be other things that will be put in place. Also, I know that Mr. Ted Moon has agreed to be in support. I do live in West Fayetteville, and so I hope that when this proposal comes forth, once we work everything out, that the rest of you individuals, it's my understanding, Ms. Waddell, that you work for the, that you are on the board for the ADA with Charles Yates, or whoever's assigned to that. Our goal is, again, to bring awareness and that we can come together as a community to help those with mental health. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Valencia Applewhite.
Hello, former councilwoman. I apologize for not doing my recognitions earlier.
No, Mayor. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Val Applewhite. I'm at 5813 My Navy Place, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I come to talk to you about this Civil War Museum. The first time I heard about the Civil War Museum was several years ago. I was still the District 7 representative. We had a fancy meeting down the street, and we had all of academia there, all of the political people, all the who's who was there. And I left that meeting with a good feeling about the Civil War Museum. But that was then, and this is now. It was before the sharp rise in white nationalism in this country. It was before Charlottesville, before the Tree of Life Synagogue massacre in Pittsburgh, or the shootings in Charleston. It was before the election of the 45th President of the United States, and according to the U.S. Justice Department and the Anti-Defamation League, white supremacist attacks have increased since his campaign and since his election. It was before the movements across the nation to take down Confederate statues, not just Silent Sam in Chapel Hill, but in New Orleans, Memphis, Dallas, Maryland, and in places like Montana. There is much more, but somehow I can't quite grasp how the response to this in Fayetteville, North Carolina, is to build a Civil War museum under the guise of education and economic development. If this were such an amazing idea, why didn't Charlotte do it? Why not Durham? Why not Wilmington? Why not Greensboro? I say that they are progressive cities that are looking forward to a great future and not a painful past. One of the greatest compliments I ever got when I was here on City Council was in this room. A gentleman said, "Ms. Applewhite, I don't much care for your votes, but I always know where you stand." And that's why I'm here today. I want to know where each of you stand on this issue. We've not yet had a community meeting, a community-wide meeting that I know about regarding the Civil War Museum. The $7.5 proposed million, I believe there was a unanimous vote to deed the property over. That's not true? Okay, well, the property I'm concerned about, and also, I think just last week, there was a 7-3 vote to rezone the property. I believe it was the mayor, Councilmember Hare, Councilmember Wright. You didn't participate in that. So what I'm here to say is that we're going to have a community meeting. We're inviting organizations across the state organizations, people in the community, to invite you out to come and tell us where you stand. A simple yes or a simple no, no spin. I know the political spin, I played that game before. We want to hear from you. So we'll give you a date real soon to come out and join the community and discuss your position on the Civil War Museum.
Mayor, our final speaker is Ms. Channing Purdue. Sorry.
Hey there, thank you so much for fitting me in. I sure do appreciate it. My name is Channing Purdue. I live at 1531 Cedar Creek Road. Our house is located in the city of Fayetteville. We've lived in that home for a little over a year and a half. We were residents of Hope Mills prior to. My husband is a active duty member of the Army for 17 years, and we recently moved out to Fayetteville because we bought a 10-acre property with a older home with the expectation of growing a farm for our family and our community. I came a little less than a year ago after Hurricane Florence flooded our entire property, and we were evacuated from our home. I'm going to read a letter that I've been writing to several representatives, the city, the county, the state, to whom it may concern. I'm here in regards to Locks Creek and the Finger Creeks that have flooded for the past 2 hurricanes that have hit our property and Cumberland County community, Hurricane Matthew and Hurricane Florence. Last year, we had to evacuate our home and our livestock animals from our farm. The water came so fast. The night before at 10 p.m., it started to rain. By 6 a.m., our barn and property were in 3 feet of water. I was also 8 weeks post C-section. We had to wade through the water, carrying our goats and chickens in a trailer to take them to another farm in Rayford. Fast forward to today, we're having to also think about transporting them for various reasons with the hurricane that previously came through. Obviously, we did not have any flooding with that. We were very grateful. We've also added horses and cows to our farm, and it does cost more to board and transport. As a precaution, we did evacuate our entire farm We did have some flooding in our dog field, which was about 2 to 3 inches. Last year, after Hurricane Florence, I spoke to Mitch Miller at the Soil and Water Division for our county. He showed me a map of the areas that had been cleaned up after Matthew, which was 4 years ago. There's only a small portion of that. He showed me that there are other severely troubled places that needed to be cleaned up. I spoke to the city. I spoke with John Larch of the city, and then he also told me that I needed to contact the county. I spoke with Jeff Brown. I also spoke with the state department, and they said there was $400,000 or $500,000 that was supposed to be used for hurricane-related damage from Matthew. No money has been given for Hurricane Florence yet. I know that there's back and forth between the city and the state as to how that money is used and how much money is used, but there's still some debate on why that's still not done. There's roughly 13.4 miles of creek repairs. That's roughly $7 million in repairs. The average cost of repair is $100 to $155 per foot. Last year before Florence, only 1.4 miles of that creek had gotten repaired. Right before Florence. That was right after Matthew. The Corps of Engineers and FEMA also need to redo the floodplain map of this entire area, this county. It has not been done in over 10 years. The county and the city also need to contact them. I've been trying to contact the Corps of Engineers for our state to see if there was any permanent drainage ponds or lakes that can be put in to alleviate that stormwater damage issue throughout our county. I'm upset, I'm scared, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, and we're financially at a max at what we've done to repair our farm in the last year. Not only did our farm flood, but our home flooded. FEMA did not do anything, and because we did not have flood insurance with our home because we were not in a floodplain, we had no money to repair our homes. Thank you.
Mayor, we have no further speakers.
Pardon me, I was originally signed up. Mr. Hare, would you yield 3 minutes for a veteran to talk about ethics in the police department, or do you want me to come back in 2 weeks?
So this speaker did not sign up.
I'll show you the email where I previously signed up. Thanks for your time. I will talk about ethics in the police department in 2 weeks.
Sir, we have a process and you have to sign up for it, okay?
I did. I talked to Andrea, but I'll refer those emails to the city manager.
Thank you.
Pardon the interruption?
Thank you.
Mr. Hare?
All right. Madam Clerk, any more speakers?
No, sir.
All right. Right, at this time, we will move to item 8.01, presentation of appointment committee recommendations, boards and commissions. We'll give a few minutes for those to clear the room that would like to leave.
Larry, are you our veteran liaison? You want to talk to him? See what's on his mind. You our veteran liaison. See what's on his mind. Mr. This won't take long, Mr. Mayor. This won't take long.
All right, item 8.01, presentation of appointments committee. Mr. Chris, you presenting?
Mr. Mayor and council members, at this time I would present to you the recommendations from the appointments committee for appointments by this council. The appointments committee unanimously approved the following recommendations to this council. For the Public Works Commission, Ms. Evelyn O'Shaw for the period October 1, 2019 to September 30, 2023. For the Board of Appeals, we recommend Ms. Stella Mullen from October 1st, 2019 to September 30, 2022. Ms. Ashley G. Dunkel from October 1st, 2019, September 30th, 2022. For the Human Relations Commission, we recommend 5 people. The first 4 for the period October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2021. And the 5th one will be from October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020, 1 year. The first 4 are Mr. Franco Webb, Mrs. Simone Pemberton, Ms. Eileen W. Hatch, Mr. Theodore P. Traynor III. They are recommended for October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2021. And Mr. Dwight E. Palmer Jr. from October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020. For the Joint City and County Appearance Commission, 4 recommendations, sir, all to serve from October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2021. Ms. Kishona R. Newton, Ms. Helen A. Haynes, Mr. Clyde Foster, and Mr. Gregory R. Fox. For Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission, we are recommending 2 people to serve October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2022. Ms. Brooke Johnson, Ms. Emily K. Schaefer. For the Planning Commission, we are recommending 6 people to serve from October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2021. They are Mr. Christopher G. Davis, Ms. Marcia Bryant, Ms. Alicia Moore, Dr. Lakeisha D. Payton, Mr. Michael King, and Mr. Raymond J. Mocker as an alternate. Public Arts Commission, we're recommending 1 person, Mr. Jonathan Chestnut, to serve from October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2021. For the Zoning Commission, we're recommending 3 people to serve October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2021. They are Mr. David Barron, B-A-R-A-N, Mr. Roger Shaw, and Mr. Willie P. Dorman, Jr. Those, sir, are the recommendations from the Appointments Committee for consideration by this council. If it pleases you, sir, I would move that the council appoint these citizens as recommended by the Appointments Committee.
Thank you, Councilman Chris, for that information as well as for the motion. There's a second by Councilmember Cullerton by way of lights. All right, Council. Yeah, I know. All right, Council, any discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor? Was that discussion or vote? Okay, all right, Council, I look to you for your votes. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous by those voting. Motion carries. Item 9.0 is the administrative reports, which, Mr. Hewitt, do you have anything to add about that? I think we had discussed that these items would come back for more detail. Sir?
At the council's direction, if there's an item that you would like to see again, if you could give that direction, we'll squeeze it on a work session or a regular meeting for a presentation. But at this moment, they're just there for a council's review and for further direction.
All right, see 2 lights. Councilman Chris, did you have something?
That's all right. I'll look into them and then.
Okay. Councilman Hare?
Just one curious question. It's become such a national news concern that we hear about the electronic cigarettes. And so what my question was, where are we headed with this? Are we going to be relating somewhat with whatever the national, federal, or state ordinances or codes may be, because it's still up under discussion now? Is that all that's going to be coming back to us, just like information?
No, sir. What's in the packet is research that staff has done on how other cities have addressed that. There is information about the pending lawsuit between the state and
Right.
some of the vape, but a full presentation to council, and then from direction whether you'd like to pursue an ordinance or whether or not the current situation is one that you would like to maintain.
Thank you, sir. It's just something I wanted to share with the public. Go ahead, Mayor.
All right, Councilman Art,
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Mayor.
So moved.
you. Have a good evening.